Hey, welcome to the John A. McCabe Show, where it's all about accelerating your authority in your business or field of expertise. And we do that by helping entrepreneurs, business owners, authors, experts, and speakers get seen, get heard, get noticed on any device, anywhere, anytime, within as little as 15 hours. Now, also known as the Authority Acceleration Blueprint. Now, as an entrepreneur, you went into business because chances are your desired outcome is to be financially free, to do what you want, when you want, with whomever you want. You want the freedom to be able to make the choices you want to make, and you want to have the freedom to have more options in your life. Not only that, but you may have a burning desire to help people with your unique talents and gifts. You do that by serving people who have specific challenges related to your field of expertise or the products or services that you sell. Now, elevating your business to be able to sell more products or services or serve more people needing your help is really about growing your business, your presence, and getting in front of the right people with the right message. This is also known as the authority, or also known as accelerating your authority. Now, today is Business Strategy Tuesday, and I have a great lesson lined up for you today. Today, I'm going to share with you the 5 P's to accelerating your authority. Now, regardless of where you are in your business, today I'm going to be sharing with you 5 different stages to accelerate your authority and some various strategies that can help you get there. And what's important about this is you can start from absolutely zero, super low risk with practically no budget. And if you're not a techie, afraid to be on camera, or can't write, don't worry. I'm going to show you some strategies and resources that don't require you to know it all or to do it all. Now, who's this for? Business owners, entrepreneurs, authors, experts, and speakers. It doesn't matter if you have a traditional brick or mortar business, a service-based business, you're a coach or consultant, or maybe you run an online business. It doesn't matter. What I'm going to share with you today works in any industry and any business model. And if you don't like selling and you'd like to teach, then this is the ideal strategy for you as well. So be sure to stick around, because when I come back, we're going to dig into the 5 P's of accelerating your authority that you can use to get more leads, more clients, and grow your business. So stick around. We'll be right back. Hey, welcome back. Thanks for joining me today. If you're just tuning in, then it's perfect timing, because today I'm going to talk about the 5 P's that go into accelerating your authority. Now, one question you may be asking yourself is, why do I care about my authority or even accelerating it? Well, the number one reason you should care about being the authority in your marketplace is so that you're top of mind. Meaning that when someone talks about a particular area of business or a particular industry that you're in, then you want to be the top of their mind. You want to be the first person's name that comes to their mind when they're thinking about that industry or that particular type of business. Now, you want to be the one that people think of when they are looking for help. You want to be the person that they automatically go to when they're looking for help or assistance in what it is that you particularly do, or your product or service does. You really want to be the Apple or the Starbucks or the Amazon of your industry. You want to be the industry leader so that you're the very first name, like I said, that people say when they're talking about that particular industry that you're in, or helping people solve problems when it relates to your field of expertise. Now, you do that by establishing and elevating your authority. Now, today I'm going to get into the 5 P's that's really going to help you make that happen. So let me just get to make sure we're set up here. And yeah, I see the slides already up. So, really what would it mean to you if you could really attract leads and opportunities, maybe hundreds or thousands of people each month, be everywhere that they turn when they're searching from their, whether they're in their cars, their bedrooms, their offices, their living room, and even in their bathroom, because who hasn't searched stuff when they're sitting in their bathroom, and be everywhere that people are searching, and be pretty much a welcome guest. So when they're looking for something, you're there, promoting. You're promoting, you're marketing, you're offering your products or services, potentially making thousands or tens of thousands of dollars each and every month from using nothing more than your mobile phone, your tablet, or your laptop computer to a really highly targeted audience. Now, imagine how quickly you could become financially free if every single week you had an extra 1, 5, 10 customers or clients contacting you, wanting your help. Customers who already know your product or your service is the solution to their problems. That's what happens when you effectively target your audience and you accelerate your authority. Now, my goal for you today is to show you how to build your audience, grow your list, influence, persuade, get people to show up, engage, and profit using some of these latest strategies. And for you to walk away with at least 1 to 2 ideas that you can start implementing into your business today or tomorrow, that's really going to get you more leads, customers, and profit by accelerating your authority in your marketplace. Now, the question you should be asking yourself is, how can I use this stuff in my business right now? You definitely don't want to use the opposite statement as, here's why I can't do this. So that's the limiting belief. So the question you should be asking yourself is, as I'm going through these things, how can you implement these things and how can it be effective in your business right now? You want to come into this with an open mind. I guarantee you're really going to get something out of it, and you're really going to start to see some success. But it's an accumulation of things that you're going to do over time. Okay, so just like a lot of you, I'm an army of one. I have access to the internet full of outsourcers, which is how I really work and how I really implement a lot of these strategies to accelerate my authority. So, if you're in the same position, I know how you feel. I'm actually going through that myself right now. I conduct and work my business myself. And, what I've found is that there's a lot of resources available to us to help us actually build and grow our business so that we're not actually working alone. And I'm going to get into a little bit more into detail what some of those outsourcers are, what some of those resources are that you have available to you a little bit later on in the show. So the very first P is prepare. And what you need to do is you really need to understand who your avatar is or who your ideal client is. So who are they? Where are they? What do they want? And just as important, who aren't they? Because you want to know who they aren't. Because it's very important when it comes to a little bit later on when we start talking about your audience, you need to be crystal clear on who your audience is and when you're reaching out to them. So who are they? Where are they? What do they want? And the very next thing is you need to understand what their challenges are. So their pains, fears, frustrations, ambitions. What is the number one challenge that your avatars or your ideal target market is facing right now? And how does your solution, your product, or your service help them overcome that challenge? So what benefits does your product or service have that is going to get the ideal client to the desired result? Remember, people typically buy products or services because they're faced with a challenge, a pain, fear, frustration, or ambition. And they have a desired result. They have an end goal. So basically, when someone goes to buy a drill, they're not buying a drill because of, a lot of the times because of the features. They're buying a drill because they need a hole drilled. So they're buying the end result, which is the hole, but in order to get the hole, typically they need to buy a drill. So it's really understanding the pains, fears, frustrations, or ambitions, and what is that number one challenge that your avatar is facing or your ideal client is facing that your solution or your product or your service solves for them. And what are the benefits that they're going to receive on their way to getting their ideal their desired outcome. So it's important that you understand those types of things. So the next thing we have is what's in it for me. So people really need to stop talking about themselves in their business. They need to focus more on their ideal target market. So when you're crafting your marketing material, when you're doing your videos or your blogs, you really need to stop focusing on yourself and vomiting what you do all over people. You really need to focus on your ideal target market and what's in it for them. So when you're crafting a lot of your stuff, you need to be, speak to them and what benefits they're going to receive by using your solution and how they're going to reach their desired outcome by working with you or buying your product or your service. Okay. So the next one is deliberate communication. So when you're crafting your messages, you need to be very deliberate, and you need to want to plan this out in advance. That's why this is a prepare. Before you even get into creating any content, this is a preparation. You need to plan, and you need to understand that all of the information that you're crafting, whether it be blogs, whether it be social posts, whether it be videos, you need to be very deliberate in when you're communicating with your ideal target market. And what you need to keep in the forefront of your mind is, what is their desired outcome and what are the benefits they're going to receive by working with me? So you need to, it's not as easy as it sounds, keeping that in the forefront of your mind as, okay, what's their desired outcome? Because when you start typing, a lot of people start typing, they tend to go back to typing about themselves. So you really need to focus on your ideal target market or your ideal client, your avatar, and the communication. How you communicate is so crucial. So not just in your sales letters, but also in your marketing pieces. Even if you're just writing blogs, your communication is key, because you want to draw those people in to connect with you. So when they're reading or they're watching the video or whatever it is, they're connecting with you. So you need to be crystal clear on the communication and be very deliberate about the communication you're using. So everything you write, your script, your video should draw your avatar in. You use a lot of emotions to connect, because people connect on an emotional basis. People make buying decisions based on emotion. So you really want to use a lot of emotional words within your communication. Okay? So the next thing is intimate conversation. And you do this by, again, going back into what's in it for me, you're not talking about yourself, but intimate conversation means that you're using a singular voice. So when you're writing things, you're writing you and me, not them and they, okay? Or we and they. You want to write you and me, so that when the person is reading it, they feel like you're actually talking to them directly. So, here's how you're going to benefit by implementing these 5 strategies. You're going to attract more customers. You're going to have a deeper connection with your ideal target market. They're going to connect with you. They're going to get to know you, like you, and trust you. You notice that I'm saying you a lot, you a lot, you a lot, and basically it's a lot of the benefits that you would receive if you implemented these 5 P's into what you're doing right now to help you accelerate your authority. So using a singular voice, you and me, so that when you're reading it or you're watching the video or you're listening to a podcast, regardless of what it is, the person is really getting drawn in, because it seems like you're talking to them specifically. So when you incorporate the deliberate communication in what you say, and you make it all about the client, the what's in it for me, and you understand your ideal target market, their pains, fears, frustrations, or ambitions, when you put a lot of that stuff together, you're really going to connect with your client, and what they read, what they see, what they hear is going to connect with them and want them, and they're going to like you, they're going to want to do business with you, they're going to trust you. Okay? So the next item is your hook and your story. So how does your story connect with the solution, or why are you doing this? So one way to sort of talk about or incorporate your hook or your story into either your solution or into your videos or your blogs or your articles is using 3 specific words: feel, felt, found. Basically, I know how you feel. I've been there too. I've struggled trying to get clients, and what I was working at the time just did not seem to help me, and it seemed like I was just chasing people over and over and over, and they didn't want to do business with me because they really didn't know who I was. So so I know how you feel, and I felt the same way because of what I just went through. And what I found that worked really well for me is to create content speaking directly to your target audience that's going to get them to know you, to like you, and to trust you, and want to do business with you. So instead of you chasing them, they're actually calling you and connecting with you, wanting you to either sell them your product or service or work with them directly as a coach or consultant, whatever it is. So using that feel, felt, found, and incorporating that into your actual story as to how you got into this. So basically you're connecting your story to your product or your service or your delivery, and you're hooking them in that way. So the hook in the story is another great area when it comes to preparing for, the first P is preparing for accelerating your authority. So prepare, the very first P. It's very important when it comes to getting crystal clear on the next 4 P's, because you want to really truly understand, because if you don't do this part correctly, if you don't actually go through this part, this P, go through these exercises, then everything that you do after the fact is really not going to resonate with your ideal target market. It's not going to serve you in the way that you're looking for it to serve you. It's not going to connect with anyone. So the very first P is really laying that foundation. It's building that foundation of your business so that people know exactly who you are, who you're targeting, how it's going to help them. You're very deliberate, and you're talking to that one person so that when people are reading or seeing this, that they're drawn in to want to actually work with you. So that's the first P, prepare.